In this video, we're going to explain the rules of John Wick and the Continental, the mysterious hotel that serves as a neutral ground for the assassins of the high table underworld. So, grab your gold coins and let's get started. The Continental is a chain of hotels around the world that cater exclusively to members of the underworld. They offer a variety of services such as weapons, medical care, information, and even tailoring. But the most important feature of the Continental is that it's a safe haven for assassins. No one is allowed to conduct any business, which means no killing, on the hotel grounds. This rule is enforced by the managers of each Continental branch, who have the authority to revoke anyone's membership if they break it. The Continental Grounds aren't limited to the hotel itself either. They also include any property owned by or affiliated with the hotel, such as restaurants, bars, theaters, museums, and even parks. The boundaries of the grounds are marked by gold coins embedded in the pavement or walls. If you see a coin, you know you're on neutral territory. The Continental Grounds are sacred and inviolable. Even the High Table, the supreme authority of the underworld, can't override them. The only exception is if a manager of a Continental branch decides to deconsecrate it, which means to remove the protection and status as a neutral zone. This is what happens in John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum when Winston, the manager of the New York Continental, declares it deconsecrated in order to help John Wick fight against the High Table's forces. The managers are the ones who run each Continental branch and enforce its rules. They're respected and feared by everyone in the underworld as they have the power to grant or deny access to the hotel and its services. They also have connections and influence with other factions and organizations in the underworld, such as the Bowery King, the Director, and the Adjudicator. The managers are loyal to the Continental and its rules above all else. They don't take sides or interfere with anyone's business unless it involves breaking the hotel's rules. If someone violates the rules or challenges their authority, they will face severe consequences, such as being excommunicated or even killed. The managers aren't above the law, however. They're still subject to the High Table's oversight and judgment. If they fail to uphold their duties or betray their allegiance, they'll be punished accordingly. This is what happens to Winston in John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum when he helps John Wick escape from his excommunication and defies the High Table's orders. He is stripped of his managerial status and marked for death by the Adjudicator. The Tailors are one of the many specialized service providers that cater to the assassins at the Continental. They're experts in crafting suits that are not only stylish and elegant, but also bulletproof and very functional. They can customize any suit to fit any occasion, whether it's a formal event or a gunfight. The Tailors use a special fabric called tactical weave, which is made from bullet-resistant fibers that can stop most handgun rounds and some rifle rounds. The fabric is also breathable and flexible, allowing for mobility and comfort. The Tailors can also add various features to the suits, such as hidden pockets, holsters, knives, grenades, or even armor plates. The markers are metal tokens that serve as a record of the blood oath between two parties in the underworld. They're used when one party asks a significant favor from another party, and the other party agrees to grant it in exchange for anything they want in return at any time. The person who owes the favor leaves a bloody thumbprint on one side of the marker, while the party who grants the favor keeps the marker and presents it to the other party when they want to collect their debt. The markers are sacred, and they can't be refused, ignored, or broken. Anyone who violates a marker will face dire consequences. The only way to close a marker is to fulfill the debt or have both parties agree to nullify it. The markers aren't limited by time, place, or circumstance. They can be called in at any moment for any reason, no matter how inconvenient or dangerous it may be for the debtor. The creditor can also ask for anything they want, no matter how unreasonable or immoral it may be for the debtor. These markers are not common. They're reserved for extreme situations and rare occasions. They're also not transferable. They can only be used by the original parties involved. The only exception is if one of the parties dies, in which case their heir or successor can inherit the marker and use it as they see fit. The markers are first introduced in John Wick Chapter 2, when Santino D'Antonio uses a marker to force John Wick to assassinate his sister, who is a member of the High Table. John reluctantly agrees, but then kills Santino for betraying him and breaking the Continental's rules. This leads to John's excommunication and bounty in John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum. The gold coins are the currency of the underworld. They're used to pay for goods and services provided by anyone who works under the High Table, such as assassins, arms dealers, doctors, cleaners, informants, and so on. They're also used to show respect and gratitude to anyone who helps or favors someone in the underworld. The gold coins are not based on monetary value, they're based on social value. They represent the commerce of relationships, a social contract in which both parties agree to partake. They also represent access, membership, and trust in the underworld. The gold coins are not easy to obtain. They're earned through hard work and skill. They're also not easy to spend. They're saved for important occasions and transactions, so they're not wasted on trivial things or frivolous pleasures. The High Table is the supreme authority of the underworld. It's a council of 12 powerful crime lords who rule over their respective territories and factories around the world. They set and enforce the rules that govern all aspects of life and death in the underworld. They also oversee and regulate all activities and transactions that take place under their jurisdiction. The High Table is respected and feared by everyone in the underworld, underworld, as they have the power to grant or deny favors, privileges, resources, and protection to anyone who works under them. They also have the power to punish or reward anyone who obeys or disobeys them. They don't care about loyalty, honor, or justice. They only care about order, balance, and profit. But the High Table is not invincible or infallible. They have enemies and rivals who seek to overthrow them or break their rules. They also have weaknesses and flaws that can be exploited or exposed by anyone who knows them. The Adjudicator is an agent of the High Table and a representative of the Elder, the mysterious leader of the underworld. They're sent to New York to deal with John Wick and those who aided him after he killed Santino D'Antonio on the Continental Grounds. They serve as the main antagonist of John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum. The Adjudicator is not a fighter, but a judge. They have the power to judge anyone who breaks the rules or challenges the High Table, and to assign punishments or rewards accordingly. The Soup Kitchen is a vast intelligence network run by the Bowery King in New York. It masquerades as a homeless shelter and consists of many agents in the form of homeless people. It is completely unaffiliated with the High Table until the Bowery King offers his services to them. The Soup Kitchen is not a charity, but a business. It does not provide food or shelter, it provides information and data. It uses access to the city's underground tunnels and passageways to quickly move about with ease. It also uses homing pigeons to deliver messages in the form of microchips or other small objects. The Soup Kitchen is not harmless or helpless. It's dangerous and resourceful. It has eyes and ears everywhere in the city, hiding in plain sight as beggars, vagrants, or panhandlers. It has lots of allies and enemies in various factions and organizations in the underworld. The old ways are the traditions and customs that govern the conduct and etiquette of the assassins in the underworld. They're based on respect, honor, and professionalism. They include things like greeting each other with a nod, exchanging gold coins for services, using codenames or aliases, and so on. The old ways also include the dueling laws, which are the rules that apply when two assassins decide to settle their differences or disputes through combat. The dueling laws are as follows. The duel must be agreed upon by both parties. No one can be forced or coerced into a duel. The duel must be fair and honorable. No cheating or interference is allowed. The duel must be witnessed by a neutral third party who can act as a referee or a judge. The duel must have clear terms and conditions, such as the weapons, the location, the time limit, and the stakes. The duel must end when one party surrenders, dies, or is incapacitated. No unnecessary violence or cruelty is allowed. The duel must be respected and honored by both parties. No grudges or revenge are allowed. The old ways and the dueling laws are respected and followed by most assassins in the underworld, as they provide a sense of order, dignity, and pride. They also prevent unnecessary bloodshed and chaos in the underworld. However, some assassins may choose to ignore or violate them, either out of arrogance, greed, or desperation. This may result in consequences, such as being shunned, hunted, or killed by other assassins. Ex-Communicado is the status of an assassin who has been expelled from the underworld for breaking the rules. It means that they lose all access to the Continental and its services, as well as any protection or assistance from anyone who works under the High Table. It also means that they become a target for every other assassin in the world who can claim a bounty on their head. The Ex-Communicado isn't permanent though. It can be reversed or lifted by the High Table or anyone who has their authority. However, this is very rare and unlikely, as it would require a very good reason or a very high price. The Honor Code is the moral and ethical code that most assassins follow in the underworld. It's based on loyalty, integrity, and compassion. It includes things like honoring one's word, keeping one's promises, repaying one's debts, and showing mercy or kindness to those who deserve it. The Honor Code isn't a rule though, it's a choice. It's not enforced or regulated by anyone, but it's self-imposed and self-regulated by each individual. Last but not least, don't hurt his dog. This isn't a rule, it's a warning. Don't hurt his dog means don't mess with John Wick. Don't provoke him, don't anger him, don't cross him. Don't do anything that would make him come after you with a vengeance. Don't hurt his dog because his dog is more than just a pet. It's a symbol of his love, his loss, and his hope. His dog is a gift from his late wife Helen, who died of a terminal illness. His dog is a reminder of his happy past when he was retired from being an assassin and lived peacefully with Helen. Don't hurt his dog because if you do, you'll unleash the wrath of John Wick. You will awaken the Baba Yaga, the legendary assassin who once killed 3 men with a pencil. You have been warned.